There is no doubt that taking this route and trying to remake oneself is risky. It requires enduring great pain in the unmasking of our self-deceptions and opens us up to the potential for ridicule. However, the alternative of remaining on the shaky bridge of our self-deceptions may in the end entail far more suffering.
They're not even crimes of violence. You can't even dignify that as a war crime. That is a crime of genocide because of the genocidal intention behind it, which runs throughout Islam. Repeatedly, the Quran saying basically, make war against non-Muslims until there are no non-Muslims left, until everyone converts to Islam.
In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, there was an influx of Russian Jews, something like 220,000 of them. These were also Europeans, of course, but from Eastern Europe. There were about 40 million people in Britain in the Edwardian era, and so this influx of 220,000 amounted to around 1 in 188 of the population. So it was that up to the Second World War, almost all the immigration to Britain was from Europe, and it did not amount to more than 1 in 50 to 1 in 188 of the existing population. In other words, a tiny percentage. The British population was therefore almost entirely Anglo-Saxon and had been for 1,000 years at the end of the Second World War. Today, the population of the country is about 66 million. According to the Office of National Statistics, 9.5 million people in Britain were born abroad. That means that 1 person in 6 in this country is now a foreigner. Anybody see the difference there between that figure and the one I gave for the last 1,000 years or so? That is to say, 1 in 6 foreigners today and say 1 in 188 when the Russian Jews came here in Edwardian Britain, or perhaps 1 in 100 for the Huguenots. That's a difference. It's the scale of the thing. It's also the fact that previously to this, all the immigrants to Britain had been from Europe. Now they come from Asia, America, and all over the world, India, Pakistan, Africa. And there's an awful lot of them. It's on an absolutely unprecedented scale. For thousands of years, this country was entirely white and European, and for 1,000 years or more it was an Anglo-Saxon nation. This is no longer the situation, and to claim that we have always been a nation of immigrants is therefore completely false.
And actually, the truth is, it's a myth that there's one English ethnicity. There's not, because England has always been a country in which Huguenots, Danes, all sorts of people have passed through. Here in England, you can only claim that Englishness effectively, Jean, if you are white.
You keep saying that you are African Caribbean, which is fine, but how can you be African Caribbean and English?
I honestly can't see what ethnicity has to do with this. And I'm getting a little ticked off with people coming to live in Britain and not being the slightest bit grateful or even showing any desire to fit in with our way of life.
Can you accept that Britain is my country?
I don't think you belong here, to be honest, Majid. I think you're a subversive globalist.
What do you think of that phrase? What do you think of that accusation? And do you, if you like, revel in that place, or do you hate it when people try and, if you like, put you in the same category as fanatics on other sides of the religious divide?
Well, religious fanatics are apt to take the law into their own hands on occasion, aren't they?
Well, that's interesting, but whether or not you think I'm a subversive globalist, and aside from whether it's true, because I'm not even going to bother to get into that conversation.
Say, well, everyone obviously thinks Islam's wonderful and wants more of it. We have all seen every bit as much as we need to see of Islam to know what it's about, and we quietly regard anyone as a fool who wafts on about Islam being a religion of peace.
Islam is a religion of peace.
Islam is a religion of peace.
just check out my views on corporatism, global corporatism, and
yes, you stated you're a
corruption.
globalist. Yes, that's correct.
That was a joke about 4 years ago, but that's a different point, Oswald. The point is, whether or not I hold that view or not, how does that negate being British? I mean, there are white people that are globalists that you'd still consider British. So I'm wondering why a falsely attributed view to me, even if you were correct, means I'm not British.
Here's a man who was threatening his health through this kind of false labeling. It was absolutely amazing. But the food, his novel 1984, addressed the importance of language in society and the control and manipulation of language to control and direct society. I think the most important point in 1984 is that power grows not out of the barrel of a gun. Power grows not out of the thought police and rule by terror. It grows out of the power of language in that novel.
Islam being a religion of peace.
Islam is a religion of peace.
Islam is a religion of peace.
Your ethnic roots come from the Middle East somewhere.
That's not what I asked you, Oswald. Why do you think I don't have the right to call myself British?
Because you're not British. How hard is it for you to understand?
So what is it you think I am?
You're a Pakistani man. You're from the Middle East.
But I don't have a Pakistani passport.
Oh, so a piece of paper dictates your ethnic origin now,
No, but Oswald, we've already agreed Pakistani is not an ethnicity. Why are you telling me I'm of the Pakistani ethnicity?
I'm not a geneticist who can tell you about the Middle East and the roots of people from the Middle East.
That's right. So can you agree that England is a country, like Scotland is a country, and the ethnicity, what you're really trying to say, and then we can actually have a conversation. I'm happy to have a conversation with you about it, but I think what you're really trying to say is that you're worried that white Anglo-Saxons are being stigmatized or discriminated against or could end up being a minority. Now, that is a legitimate conversation I can have with you.
But that might look like some happy, hippie diversity dream, but it will end in unfreedom because only the Anglosphere, the English-speaking world, loves freedom even when it's ugly. And if you leave the Anglosphere, you'll eventually fall for the temptations to avoid the ugly rigours of freedom. If the English go, if the English go, the English-speaking world will go. If the English-speaking world goes, then this idea of freedom under morally justified law will go, and then the world will go dark. Islam is just the latest example of the nasty threat, the nasty challenge to freedom, and it will probably fall to us, the English-speaking world, to show the rest of the world how to win against it.
For thousands of years, this country was entirely white and European, and for 1,000 years or more it was an Anglo-Saxon nation.
You would respect any view I offer you as to the future of white Anglo-Saxon people in this country as an equal view to yours because I have an equal stake in this country as a British or English person. But if you don't accept that I have an equal stake in this country as a Briton or an English person in the country of England, there's no point having a conversation with you because you're not going to accept what I say anyway, even if I'm right, because you think I don't belong here.
I suggested that one reason for this was an obsession with the subject of race, which would need to be overcome before black people can join mainstream thinking and progress beyond their perceived victimhood.
But overcome the Muslims, no, we should have open season and we should be able to mock their faith and criticise it to death because, hey, we believe in freedom, except for all the other things we don't allow to be criticised. I mean, what on earth's going on here?
I said too that there might be a second reason for the lack of books by black authors which are about medicine, physics, chemistry, economics, art, literature and all the other fields of human knowledge besides ethnicity. To do this, I want to talk a little about Nobel Prizes, which are generally regarded as the ultimate accolade for academic achievement.
That between 20 and 25% of all scientific Nobel Prizes have been won by Jews. And I thought that was a stunning fact. It really is. I mean, when you think the total population of Jews in the world is tiny compared to really any other of the major religions. So I wanted to make this point that Islam has stagnated in the scientific field since the Middle Ages, and the best comparison to make would have been with Jews. And then I thought, oh no, I can't do that, because that will really upset people because of Palestine, and I'm very sympathetic to the plight of the Palestinian people in Israel. So At the last minute, I crossed out Jews and stuck in Trinity College, Cambridge.
Are people born equal? Is there any mentioning in the Bible or any other holy scripture in any religion, if you don't believe me, go to the library and check it. There is not a single word about equality, just the opposite.
I think he should apologise.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell